With Rin coming up in the 4.4 FATE Part 2 collab, today I'm here with the full pre-farm guide, taking you over everything you do need to know. This video is going to include everything you need to take her from level 1 to 80, max out all her traces, so stuff regarding traces, what weekly, so on and so forth, general materials and enemies that you would need, and even some relic and ornament recommendations. Do note this video does not account for her light cone, or any light cone for that matter. This just is accounting for Rin herself, taking her from level 1 to 80, maxing out traces, and then relics. Stuck grinding in Honkai Star Rail? Need Stellar Jades fast? We've got you covered. Head over to U7 Buy, your ultimate gaming hub for save fast and cheap in-game top-ups. Whether it's Star Rail or your other favorite games, U7 delivers instantly and players love it. Check out their Trustpilot reviews, they're actually top ranked. On the Honkai Star Rail direct top-up page, you can recharge your account in seconds. For example, 8080 honorific shards cost $99.99 in the official store. However, on U7 Buy, you can see the price is cheaper. When you head over to U7 Buy, you might notice that the storefront display prices currently match the in-game store, but don't worry, the magic happens at checkout. Once you click the buy now button, your total instantly drops to our actual discounted price only. Just pick your server, enter UID, pay securely, and boom, your account is instantly loaded. Want extra savings? Use code PRETSR at checkout for 5% off, perfect for last minute pulls, battle passes, or surprising a friend. And here's a bonus. If you spend $80 a month on U7 Buy, you can grab the Honkai Star Rail Express Pass for only 1 cent, which is nearly free. Click on the link in my description, recharge fast, save more, and keep blazing those trails. Starting off with the general materials, purple books wise, you will need about 290 purple books, and for credits, you will need roughly about 3.3 million credits. Tracks of Destiny, you are going to need a total of 8 if you do want to max out every single trace she does have. The general materials she is going to be using are these ones right here, requiring a total of 56 green ones, 71 blue ones, and 73 purple ones. This has quite literally been in the game since release, so if you've been playing for a while, there's like no chance that you don't have just a bunch of these like I do here. However, if you're a newer player, maybe you're starting for the FATE collab or anything, it's very easy to get these out of the way. First, just be sure your actual assignments are set to it, since for assignments you can actually assign the green one to be getting over time. That's kind of how I have a bunch here. I don't actually go out and farm them. No one really does if you've been playing for a while. It's just kind of assignment accumulation. But yeah, if you are on a time crunch, if you're watching this in the future, it's very easy. All you have to do is just click on one of the ones. You can go ahead and track the actual enemies here. As you see, they're mostly in the Herta space station because it is a very early map and a very early material in general. So again, if you are watching this in the future, that's all you really have to do. Just don't actually use this like K-Lig specific stuff you can do to farm these. Just destroy enemies. If you have Finon, Akron, Silverwolf, they can instantly defeat it, making it that much faster. The Stagnant Shadow Ascension material she's going to be using is the brand new one from the Shape of Devour. Not the one from Shape of Gelidmood, Shape of Rose, Shape of Abomination, or Quanta. None of these. It is the one from Shape of Devour. This is the newest one at the Ingford location in Planar, requiring a total of 65 of these to take her from level 1 to 80. Stagnant Shadow is really easy to knock out the way, as at the highest equilibrium level, you are guaranteed 5 per run, so you just need about a full day's worth and a little bit worth of stamina, and you will be good to go. It's really easy to knock this out right away first before anything. If you do specifically need the location for some reason, which, you know, you don't, you can just see it's right here on the map. This is the map it is on. But that's not really a case because this is not Genshin. I've said this in my last pre-farm guide because I can't stop taking jabs at that game. You can literally just go there without actually ever having it unlocked. The trace material she's going to be using is Blood of Erudition, as she is an Erudition character. The also brand new one from the Seafield TV Tower. So not the one from the Penacony Grand Theater and not the one from Rivet Town. The one at Seafield in Planar Arcadia, requiring a total of 18 green ones, 69 blue ones, and 139 purple ones. Even though there's a bunch of time, traces are really cringe, so the moment you have like general stuff available and also finish Stagnant Shadow, just because again it's really easy to knock out, I highly advise to start as soon as possible just so you can get this out of the way, because it will take you a little bit, and then the quicker you are done, the more you can focus on relics and such and other characters. Traces again just take a while. If you do once again specifically need the location, it is right here on the Seafield map. The Echo of War material she's going to be using is the one from Destruction's Beginning, so the actual first weekly boss we have, requiring a total of 12 of these. This is where I'd also say you probably have enough by now, and I'm only not saying that just because you can see how low I am here. Really, no one ever uses this anymore, so I've had no reason to go back as a long-time player to even get this, just because every new character would be using like the new ones that come out. But since it's FATE collab and they want the characters to be accessible, to be leveled early as possible, technically I guess that's why they kind of have have it to be this one. So at the highest equilibrium level, you get 3 per run, so you can very easily knock this out the way as well, as you would just need the actual 3 runs you get per week. You can just dump that all on here and then 1 extra the following week, and you would be good to go from there on. Now for some relic recommendations for the general role that she does have, despite being able to summon her as a DPS or not. Regardless, you can kind of build her very similarly to Archer, besides the new set, because he can use that set. She can't, because she doesn't repeatedly fire skill like he does. However, the other sets that Archer uses, he can use as well, and by he I mean she, my bad. That primarily being the Genius set, as it is the best for damage. 2-piece increases all her sources of damage with 10% quantum. 4-piece 10% defense ignore when the wearer does damage to a target, and if they have quantum weakness, additionally will ignore 10% defense. So the 4-piece gives you up to a 20% defense ignore, which, if you don't know, the higher value of defense ignore slash shred you have, so the more you can go, above 50, 60, 70, around the 70% is when it gets a lot better, and then around 70% and higher it gets significantly better. The higher you go, the better it gets, pretty much. And even just having it earlier amount is not bad in any way, shape, or form. It's still effective. So this is one of the best sets you can do, especially paired with other sources of a defense ignore if you have on the team. And then if they have quantum weakness, you get the full value. So sometimes you will, sometimes you won't, if you're running the OG Noble Flare Silverwolf or not as well. But if not that, you can also very much just farm the actual Scholar set instead. Scholar also does work. 2-piece makes it easier to build with 8% crit rate. 4-piece increases damage up by skill and ultimate by 20%. Using ultimate will increase the next skill's damage by 25%. So as I said, makes it easier to build with the 2-piece. 4-piece increases her main source of damage with skill, and also her ultimate does seem to do damage, so that's why the extra increase is there. And then anytime you use it, the next time you do use your skill will do more damage. So those are sort of the only 2 sets that you primarily can run on her right now, even as sub DPS slash support or main DPS. Of course, they're better for main DPS as they're literally just more damage. She doesn't seem to be a character that can fully utilize Eagle too well as a support, just because there's not enough energy and actions. However, for full details, I definitely recommend waiting once there's a lot more testing going on, and further guides that I myself will make a lot later when everything is finalized. So you can also definitely wait around for that, but those sets are reliable. Specifically for ornaments, same thing kind of. You can usually just go the damage route with the Tengoku set. With 16% crit damage, 3 or more skill points being consumed in the same turn will increase the wearer's crit damage by 32% for 3 turns, so up to a actual 48% crit damage increase if consuming 3 or more skill points in the turn, which she is able to in fact do. With that, this is the best for her actual DPS source, and the same thing with Archer. If you don't actually have that set, you would just use Rudolin instead, which does provide damage for skill and basic attack by 20%, reaching 70% crit rate or higher, and also 8% crit rate. So same thing there, Tengoku's better, otherwise just use Rudolin. However, if paired with a actual Archer on the team and you're trying to really not focus too much on her damage, and if you want the best damage for your Archer, you can very much just slap a supportive set on her, such as Lushaka, for the 5% energy regen rate and 12% attack for Archer. Same thing with any of the other ones, like Penacony also does work since they are both quantum, so 10% damage for the quantum allies. And if you have someone else like Tribia on the team, technically Sparkle gets it, but she doesn't do damage, so that doesn't matter. So yeah, primarily if you have like Tribia on the team, she'll be doing stuff as well. So that's also 2 options you would have for the more support side. So more DPS, Tengoku best, otherwise Rudolin, supportive, Lushaka, or Penacony. And that is the full pre-farm guide for Rin. I do hope you found this video helpful. If you did, dropping a like would be greatly appreciated. If you're new to the channel or haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe and turn on the bell icon for future videos like this, along with all other types of Star Wars content. Remember, Cyrene is beautiful, and I miss the Crystal Airs, man!